Good evening and welcome to the Shadows of New Orleans. Tonight we're joined by Dr. Miles Bjornson as he goes to visit a young man who a short time ago was beaten to the point of a coma in front of a church. Or it was witnesses stated that churchgoers attacked him after he refused to leave and was spouting heresies. They beat him until he was unconscious and left him, at which point he was found by, Pastor Luther Gaines. Luther's a active member of the community, but a kind of a Southern Baptist revivalist who is a large proponent on getting away from man's image of religion, getting rid of things like crosses, relics, church in a specific building, dedicating a space to that. His message has been that God is all around us. We don't need to dedicate a space, because when we do, we leave God there instead of taking him out into the world with us. We don't need specific images, because then we neglect God except when those images are present. So Pastor Luther found this young man unconscious and badly beaten in front of this church and brought him to the local hospital. He has since been sitting with the young man, who has very slowly started to regain consciousness. He has brief periods of lucid wakefulness, but for the most part, he's still unconscious. And tonight it sounds that the good doctor has gone to the hospital and visited, potentially in the hopes of helping out.
Mm.
So with that, I will let the doctor introduce himself.
Okay, so he probably would have gone after one of his work days. Would have stopped at the house first, grabbed one of his concoctions that he's made, and asked Inyar to load up the dishwasher before he gets back, and all that good stuff. Then he'll head on over to the hospital and walk in and walk up to the reception area and ask if he can see. Was the name of the guy released publicly?
It has not been, no.
Okay. He'll ask if the pastor Luther Gaines is with the guy that was beaten, and if he may go back to talk to him and see him.
Are you just asking as a concerned citizen who walks in, or are you going to provide credentials right away?
I'll provide credentials. I've got certification for it, so I might as well use it.
Okay. The woman at the desk says, "Well, of course, Doctor. The pastor's been sitting with the poor young man ever since he brought him in. He's here daily. In fact, he's started giving sermons in the waiting rooms outside the patient room, so he doesn't have to leave as far. He's Let me call up to the room and make sure the pastor is awake. I would hate to interrupt him. He sleeps so little when he's here."
Thank you very much. I'll politely wait.
She calls, talks briefly, and says, "Yeah, he is. He's available. He is awake, so you're welcome to head up."
Okay. So yeah, I'll thank her again and then start heading up to the room.
He's in a fairly nice room. It's a nicer hospital. Um, and the door is open when you get up there. You can see the pastor through the window sitting there. And he's dressed pretty much like you see there. He's got a like a real dress, long coat on. For winter in New Orleans, it's probably might be slightly more than needed, but not much.
Mm-hmm.
And he's dressed very professional, formal, without not suit and tie formal though.
Gotcha. I'll knock on the door before going in so I don't just like blindside them.
He will wave you in as you approach.
I'll walk in and say, "Hi, are you Luther Gaines? Our Father Luther Gaines, Pastor Luther Gaines? I apologize."
I am. I just pastor is fine. I'm not part of the formal structured churches. The Baptist churches tend to take rank a little less seriously. It's not about titles and formality. Too much structure already. That's people lose God in their need for a framework. What can I do for you, good sir?
He'll hold out a hand. I'm Dr. Miles Bjornson. I'd heard about he'll kind of gesture at the guy in the coma. I'm a medical examiner. I was just gonna see if there was anything I could do to possibly help him.
Well, that's very kind of you. Never hurts to have another doctor take a look, second opinion, and all that.
All right.
I'm not a doctor, but I'm going to imagine that the multiple blows to the head, face, and neck region, some of which look to be from objects, probably were the main factor in his unconsciousness and coma.
It definitely could be a factor. I just wanted to take a closer look and everything, see if there might be something else going on that could have caused it. Um, that sort of thing. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Steps back. He says his chart's at the end of the bed. If looking at that would help as well.
Definitely wouldn't hurt. And he'll grab the chart and start reading it.
And they do mention some swelling on the brain, attributed to blows to the head, most of which appear to have come from hands or fists, but there are a couple that people attribute to large objects, blunt objects. They mention the possibility of something along the lines of a cane, possibly a candlestick, something to that degree. There is minimal internal damage to his body, fortunately. He did have some cracked ribs, but no ruptured organs or anything else to that nature.
Yeah, he'll read this over, kind of wincing at the description of the objects. Say, ugh, they were very serious about beating the hell out of this guy.
Well, it's unfortunately we've discovered that the South is a place where people take their religion more seriously than beneficial.
Hmm. Seems that way, which is really sad. But maybe I can help. If you don't mind, he'll go over to the bed and just kind of start like inspecting him. And trying to think of how I can. I got it. I'll start like going through the cabinets and looking for, the various things that they use for, physical and everything, little ear thing that he's seen
Oh,
inside.
okay. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, your basic implements.
Yeah, and I'll start just kind of not really giving him a physical, but kind of going through those motions and everything. And I'm going to use that as a focus for a Life 1 effect to see if there's anything else that the other doctors might have missed.
Okay.
And I got 3 successes.
Alrighty.
That should be enough to pull it up and have it last for the scene.
It does. That certainly will do the job. All right. Well, at this point, it seems like the majority of the damage is indeed from a head trauma type injury. It does seem to be healing, but there is still swelling, that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Beyond that, the rest of the injuries appear to have healed. The cracked ribs are relatively healed, that sort of thing.
I'll continue the checking, like just to make sure like there's no abnormalities like with his organs or anything.
Okay.
Just on the safe side.
You don't notice anything specific, no.
Okay.
The organs seem to be fairly well healed, or minimal damage that was there.
Cool. I'll stop inspecting that and turn back to the pastor and say, from what I can tell, yeah, it's stuff. It's probably the head bludgeoning. There's still a little bit of swelling on his brain, um, from what I can see. Um, hmm. Wonder if I can get access to something and see if there's any brain activity going on.
Oh, well, I mean, we can certainly request equipment, I'm sure. The doctors have done a fair job, certainly, and been very helpful, but again, science and medicine only go so far.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So I will use the phone and um yeah, I'll just use the phone and ask them to put me in contact with someone who can grant me access to their their technology. It's not the exact word, but you get what I'm saying.
Right. And they have a lab tech that can bring you specific equipment.
Okay. I will ask them for I believe it's an EEG machine. Yes. Yeah, an EEG machine. or EEG electrodes.
Okay. And they get it to you relatively quickly.
And we'll thank them. And do you want me to roll to like get it set up properly?
Yeah, they probably are in technology or in medicine. I could see either one.
It's the same dice pool either way, so standard difficulty or higher.
Standard is fine.
Okay. I got 2 successes. Oh, I did have a 10 in there. Is Keen Edge Mind applicable?
Sure.
Cool. So I guess 3 successes? I'm not sure how you do 10s in this venue.
10's count as 2. So.
Okay. So yeah, I got 3 successes to set it up then.
Yeah, so you get it set up relatively easily. Have it all equipped and whatnot, and start relatively quickly getting readings. Fairly unusual readings. A lot of them seem to be closer to like there's definitely brain activity, but it's more of a like a REM sleep or dreaming.
Just to verify, can I use that as a focus for Mindsight to figure that out?
Yeah, I could see that.
Sick. Oh, 40, 10, 3. 3 successes on that. I'll drop the life side, of course, before putting it up, because otherwise things will get weird. But
All right, so you're pulling up Mindsight, and you can see there really legitimately is mental activity. Not so much a dreaming as something else. Roll me a intelligence mage lore.
okay. Is Keen Edge Mind applicable on this one?
Sure.
Awesome. I'm so glad that I put that mind empowerment effect up for a while. What's my difficulty on this?
7.
7. Okay. I got a single success.
Well, you would guess that this what you're seeing here is probably what it looks like when someone is actively engaged in a seeking.
I'll just kind of like click my tongue, say that's interesting.
And the pastor says, Are you getting some results?"
Yes. You know in the Bible how God would occasionally put his followers through trials to prove their devotion to him or prove that they followed him and everything, among other things.
He comes up to you and takes off. You notice he's been wearing gloves, and as he takes them off, you can see that he actually has wounds in the palms of his hands that are bleeding, like if something was driven through each palm.
Mm.
And he says, "Oh, I know all too well."
The Doc will just kind of grimace at that sight. Oh, is this guy putting off anything weird with mind sight? Is that what
Not from a mind standpoint, no.
okay. Cool. I'll just continue on. I think our friend here is kind of going through something like that, but in his own head. And he probably won't wake up until he's able to get through it.
See, is there anything we can do to help?
Mm, possibly. I can try doing something that'll help his physical body and hope it'll give him an edge in his own head, but that's the most I can really do.
Understandable.
And this guy's like he's hooked up to an IV, I'm assuming, right?
Yes.
Okay. I will take the little concoction that I brought with me and grab a syringe, uh fill the
Okay.
syringe with the liquid and then inject it into his IV. Now look at the pastor and say, a lot of my friends aren't able to afford proper health care, so I've kind of taken to making my own stuff for them.
Well, I'm sure you're more qualified than I am.
Yeah, I got the basics. It's not the most pleasant, but it gets the job done. And then I'm gonna go back to looking at him with the life or the mind sight. Does he seem to be are there any changes?
He does seem to be improving rather rapidly. And you notice it's not long before he gets more activity where he appears to be paying attention more alert.
That might have helped him. He seems to be there seems to be a bit more brain activity going on now. Mm-hmm.
And the younger guy eventually uh, kind of his eyes open up and he looks at you and he says, "I must know what it was you did to me."
I gave you medicine. Obviously, I'm a doctor. That's what I do.
And he looks at you. He says, "That's fair." Then the next question is, what did he do to me?
Uh, Doc will look at the pastor.
And he'll look at both of you and he'll say, "Well, I didn't do anything except what I would do for anyone. Offer my prayers and my faith."
Hmm. Um, I'm gonna pull up Orosite but I don't have any way of doing so within my paradigm right now, so I can't. I'm really mad. Oh well. Miles will turn back to the guy in the bed and say, "You seem to be struggling with something while you were in your coma."
He kind of reaches down like he's looking for something, like checking pockets type of thing, and he says, I had a book with me. And I'm not sure where it is now, but it's imperative that I recover it.
What book?
The pastor says, I believe it was his Bible, and hands it to him, or hands it to you to give to him since you're standing near the bed.
Yeah, I'll hand it to him.
And he takes it and he says, yes, this was the one. Just, well, like any book of faith, it raises questions as well as it answers them.
Mm. I completely missed the last thing you said. I'm sorry.
That the he says that it raises both raises and answers questions.
Gotcha. Of a religious manner, I'm assuming.
Religion or history, I'm not entirely sure which.
Guess it depends on one's point of view.
Well, it's, I suppose, true of any faith.
Mm-hmm. How long was he in this coma?
It's been probably a couple weeks.
Okay. Well, you weren't in the coma for super long, so hopefully muscle loss will be minimal if there is any. Still be careful and everything.
Well, I'm glad to hear it wasn't too long.
Just a couple weeks, so
Well, it's the blessing it is, I suppose. The fact of the matter is that you know when you're challenged and you try and show them a different way. People don't always like having their faith brought about that way.
People can be awful sometimes. But that's true of any kind of person.
Yes, I would agree to that. Seems to be more and more of an issue, however.
Mm-hmm. Should probably let your the doctors here know that you're awake and up. Miles will go over to the phone and ask the operator to send in whichever doctor is assigned to this patient.
And they've got a shift doctor that comes in. You see the young man is awake.
Yep. Gave him a little home brew, and it seemed to be quite effective.
Well, I respect your ambition. That's not many willing to put together and research their own medicines.
Yeah. Well, I got reasons for it. I'm just a medical examiner, though.
Well, you obviously know at least enough.
I've put my time in. But I just figured you ought to know that your patient was up. I suspect it won't be too bad on a muscle loss or anything, but
No, his body seemed to handle pretty well being bedridden for weeks, but the pastor here has been staying with him, making sure he gets everything he needs, and in the moments where he would be semi-lucid, making sure he ate as well.
that's good. Definitely good. I suppose I should make my leave. If either of you two, and he'll hold out business cards to the pastor and the guy in the bed. I'll say, if either of you two have any questions or need help with anything, just let me know.
Well, appreciate it. I'll certainly follow up.
Okay, I just realized this room probably smells awful, given my repulsive feature.
It's a little aromatic, yeah.
Yeah. But Miles will nod and say, yeah, just give me a call whenever. I would appreciate a follow up from you, especially, and I'll gesture again to the guy in the bed. I don't think I ever caught your name, actually. I'm terribly sorry. I'm Dr. Bjornson. And I'll hold out a hand.
You're talking to the young man, correct?
Yes.
He says, "Oh well, pleasure to meet you. I'm Joseph Clark."
Pleasure to meet you.
Appreciate it. Gonna probably need a minute chance to process everything, but in the next coming days, I'll do my best. Try and get back to you.
Of course, I wouldn't. I mean, it's clearly not going to be you're immediately 100% okay. That'd be crazy. But
Yeah, I don't think my turnaround time will be that sufficient.
yeah, just let me know whenever you're up to it.
Well, I appreciate that. If there's something I can do for you in the meantime, let me know.
I'll let you know. I can't think of anything, but I'll definitely let you know.
Sounds good. The pastor says, "Doctor, if I may, I think it would be beneficial if we got together and chatted at some point as well."
Of course. Just let me know when you're free. I'll do my best to meet up with you.
Sure, a couple nights from now, perhaps. Nothing major. Just would like to, well, to thank you for one thing. And, this young man was here in my charge, so.
A couple nights from now should be perfectly fine. You're more than welcome to come over to my place.
I would appreciate that, I think. I don't get out as often as I should.
Of course.
Is there anything else I can get you right away?
No, I'm fine. I'm perfectly fine for now. I appreciate it though.
Well, I can, I'll certainly be putting in a good word. So let me take care of that, and we will look forward to seeing you in a couple nights.
Sounds good. Have a pleasant evening, everybody.
You as well, Doctor. Thank you. And then he turns back to the young man. He says, "I am looking forward to discussing faith with you, young man. I think you'll find me to be a bit more open-minded than the folks at the church. And they begin to discuss religion as you let yourself out.
Yeah. Miles will. He's not like hurrying out or anything. He doesn't know people want to like talk to him or whatever. If they don't, he'll just get out in his car, light up a cigarette, and head home.
Okay. So he heads out and has a cigarette on the way home. People are social with him, but I mean, nobody really stops to chit chat too long.
That's fair. I can't imagine people want to stick around him too much. Since low formaldehyde.
Alrighty. So he's just heading home then?
Yep. Just gotta make sure Ingyar loaded up the dishwasher like he asked.
Yeah, Ingar's going about his business.
Oh.
So if there's nothing else, I will go ahead and wrap this up.
Sounds good.
All right. This has been another Shadows of New Orleans, specifically a mage scene with the doctor as he helps to bring a patient out of a coma. Thank you, players, for playing, watchers for watching, and we look forward to seeing you again.